What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. I'm Chad Medved. Welcome back to the podcast. Please, if you could, take a second out of your day and scroll up on your podcast app and look for the button that said subscribe. Hit that for me. And then when you're at it, smash that 5th star on those 5 stars below it. And if you have a second and you enjoy the podcast, take a second and write what you like about the podcast in the review area. I would appreciate that very much. That's what you could do for me if you enjoy the podcast. And I appreciate you. And I also appreciate Turner Dairy Farms for sponsoring the podcast. They have a absolutely just insane lineup of new merch. They got some nice hats. They got some dope stickers. Like, this milk crate sticker is probably the coolest sticker I've ever seen. It's just like, it's designed so well. Their hats they have 2 different designs of hats. One's like a trucker cap that's like a nice like Carhartt brown with the classic T Turner's logo. And then they have this black dad hat that has like I don't know, would you call it abstract? A minimalistic carton logo. And whenever I tell you it's dope, immediately I bought one for me and my wife because I knew that if I bought it, she would like it. She would like it and want to wear it. So I just went and bought her one. They also have a brand new, it's called the Turner's Table shirt. And it's so sick. It's like old school speakers, a Turner's crate filled with records, and like a record player on top, like an old school look of it. And immediately bought it, had to buy it, and I can't wait for it all to get here. It is absolutely dope. Go to turnerdairy.net and check it out. They got some jars on there, like some mason jars for an ice cold milk, ice cold tea, whatever you like, whatever your poison is. No, not poison, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. But they have Frisbees. They got another sticker pack. They're putting out dope shit. Absolutely putting out dope stuff. And I'm proud to work with them, and I'm proud to be able to say that they want to work with me. So head on over, or you could head on over to your local bodega or corner store or Unimart or whichever name you subscribe to, and grab yourself a ice cold thug jug of Turner's Premium Tea, because what else would you even want in the world? Okay, a couple other things that I wanted to talk about before we get to the episode this week. So, I've been pumped about the numbers on the podcast. I've been absolutely just pumped to see, the numbers just keep going up. So obviously new people are listening, and that's dope. I appreciate that. I appreciate anyone who's telling anyone about me. But not even about me, but about the podcast that I do and the guests that I talk to. And it makes me so excited. It makes me excited. It makes me keep wanting to do this. And I'm excited to see what we could kind of make happen in the near future. I mean, we don't know what's going on with the virus shit. As usual, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. You have no idea the right answer, what to do, what not to do. All I know is I have been wearing a mask. I have been using hand sanitizer, but I have been going out. Not to like bars or anything crazy like that. But I mean, like, I've been riding my bike all the time, and if I'm riding my bike, I haven't worn a mask, and But if I stop somewhere and I'm walking around, mask on, you already know. But I don't know how I feel about it all. It's kind of still in this like stage of being like touch and go, kind of like us understanding what's going on with it. So we just got to play it by ear. We got to play it by ear. We got to be smart about this, and we just got to hope for the best. But I'm also going to tell you, I don't know what's going on. You never know what's going on behind these doors. But I cannot stress enough that me riding my bike recently has changed my life for the better. I cannot even begin to describe my feelings whenever I'm on my bike. And it's weird because I talk about this in the episode this week because it's all about bikes. But whenever I was like younger, like I just did not give a shit about riding a bike. I never cared about riding a bike. Whenever I was like a little bit older, like, I never cared about riding a bike at all. It was just like I could have never ridden one again and I would have been fine. But now that I have my own bike that's fitted to me, that I, kind of designed how I wanted to, not designed it, the people who design the bikes, but, I put the accessories on, and I have been ripping on the bike, but, and I feel like that, I could ride it forever now. Like, I feel like a crazy attachment to it, and it's so cool to be able to see all these people that are outside riding bikes, and like, I'm getting kind of like, close to covering, the whole city, just like random roads downtown, places that I've never ridden before. I've just been riding in alleyways, just random shit. I don't know. It's weird. I mainly just like riding around and looking at graffiti, like I seriously just, I'll wake up early as fuck and I will just go down to the south side and park under the Birmingham Bridge, and I will just ride around for hours, and I love it. And I don't know how I kind of got brought to this week's guest, but, it all lines up with it. This week's guest is a guy named Michael Cottle, but he is he's a bike guy. He's been in bikes his entire life. And I talked to him. We randomly started following each other on social media. I saw that he worked for this place called Dirty Harry's, which is like a bike store that has been around for like 40 years. I did not know about it. I have to say I didn't know about it, but that's also because I'm not from out in that area of like Verona, like that's all foreign territory to me. And I also was never looking for bikes. I didn't give a shit about bikes, but I knew what Dirty Harry's was because I saw it said that it was open for 40 years. Like it's about to be 40 years they were open for. And I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And, I immediately, messaged him, I think, and I also saw on his profile that he worked at Allegheny City Brewing. And I was like, damn, this dude is a bike repair guy. All these pictures are just him with bikes, and he also brews beer. Obviously a cool dude. I'm going to message him and see if I could talk to him. Kill two birds with one stone, talking to a brewer and a bike repair guy. But, I feel like a bike repair guy might not be the best. Maybe a bike service technician. I'll say that. Yeah, that sounds better. But he's super cool. I didn't know. Like I said before, we don't know what's going on with the virus shit. So like, I'm kind of hesitant about like bringing people into my house. Not saying that Michael was like a weird like that. But you never know. You get what I'm saying? So I made the suggestion that. I was like, I live at this address, and he was like, oh, cool, I'll ride my bike over. And I was like, well, if you're riding your bike over, let me just meet you in the middle, and we'll record it outside. So this episode is recorded outside. The first one that I've ever done, like outside in a random spot. I mean, I recorded one in Colorado, now that I think about it, but I rode my bike with a book bag with all my recording stuff in it, and we met at the point, and we sat. Like literally, we were the only people in fucking 100 feet, and we recorded this podcast, and it was awesome. Just being outside, fresh air, just talking. I do have to say we were sitting on the ground. I didn't think about that, and it wasn't that comfortable. But, I had a great conversation with Michael. Like, we talked about bikes. So this dude's family owned a bike shop, and he worked in bikes. He's ridden bikes his entire life. He's raced bikes. He's competed. He's been fixing bikes forever. So we just like dive head on into bikes and how he got into it, and like, what he liked about it, and how the coronavirus kind of, made this whole bicycle surge across the world. He said it's the world, but you'll hear all about us talking about that, all about us talking about his trip biking from Florida to PA, which was crazy, all about brewing at Allegheny City and how he got involved with that, and it's just a great conversation. It's just another random person that I came across in our city that is doing awesome stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's what the podcast is for. You know, I find people that are doing cool shit, and it's just one central location for people to just go and listen to their lives if they want to. And this episode is just about bikes, and it's about brewing beer, and it's about just enjoying being outside on your pedal bike. Because I honestly would have never thought that I would have felt the way I do about my bicycle right now. And I mean, there's a few benefits out of the coronavirus for me. You know, I started baking, haven't baked in over, probably 2 months because it has been hot as sin. So I just haven't baked. Still got my starter ripping. You already know that. So we're ready to bake whenever it cools down a little bit. But I also bought a bike, and like, I'm pumped, and I'm excited about this episode. So without further ado, episode 127 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Michael Cottle.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. Yeah, this is the first time I ever did anything outside. It doesn't sound bad.
Awesome.
Like there's not a lot of extra sound at all. But you're a bike guy. You're obviously a bike guy. How long have you been working at Dirty Harry's?
Dirty Harry's is little over a year now.
Yeah.
Started beginning of February, I believe, of 19. So, yeah.
Now, I never knew that was a place.
They've been in business for 39 years, I believe the owner told me, when this virus stuff started happening. So, yeah, they've been around for a while. It was a motorcycle shop also at the beginning.
Oh, was it?
So...
See, I didn't know that. I can't remember how I even heard about Dirty Harry's. My wife grew up in Oakmont, which is right near there.
Yeah.
And I think someone told me about Dirty Harry's, or maybe I was like Googling Surly around Pittsburgh, and they're like a authorized dealer or whatever. And I think that's how it was. And then I looked at their website, and I saw on their website there was all kinds of shit. Like, you guys got all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah. We normally have all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, your experience, have you ever worked in a bike shop before Dirty Harry's?
Yeah, I grew up in a bike shop. My parents had a shop in Florida, where I'm originally from.
Wow.
And they started their business in 97. I worked there until 2001, lived here for a little bit, then moved back down there, and worked there from 2000, let's see, I don't want to screw the numbers up.
That's all right.
2009 maybe to 2013, something like that.
How old
I could
are
be
you?
completely wrong with that, but somewhere in that general area. I'm 30. I just turned 38 last week.
38?
Yep.
Okay, so that gives me a frame of reference. So, like, if you've grown up in this bike world, obviously this like quarantine shit is like, I mean, I assume that that the biking community has never seen anything like this.
Not that I can remember.
Because, like, I mean, nowadays, like, I think I went to every shop in the city to try to find a bike, and everything is just sold out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is across the world, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I know, personally speaking, we normally have roughly around 300 bikes in our store.
Yeah.
And we might have 25 right now.
Really?
And the companies that we deal with are, they're sending us bikes as they get them.
Yeah.
So, like we have 300 bikes on order, but
they're not there yet.
They're not there yet. So they just send them in like numbers of like 1s or 2s or 3s or 4s, maybe 5 bikes at a time.
Yeah, because my wife's bike. So I bought that Surly probably. I don't know, end of May, maybe somewhere around there. And I immediately was trying to find a bike for my wife. And my wife is a size small frame. And I went and I was looking everywhere for it. And I went to every shop that I knew of, and everyone was like, nope, no. And small and larges, they said, were like the most common.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, like I'm never going to be able to find a bike for my wife. And then I ended up talking to the place I bought that at Kindred, and they
that shop's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I got referred there by someone.
Yeah.
I never knew that was there. I went to Iron City at first, and they had nothing. They had a shop full of bikes, and I was like, are any of these for sale? And he was like, nope. And he was like, they're all spoken for. All of these are there. They had all tags on them and everything. And I was like, damn. So someone told me to go to Kindred, and turns out I knew some people that worked there, and the owner knew like my cousin and stuff. And I just went by there, and I was looking at a Kona Sutra at first, which was like more like the drop style bar. Because last year I bought a cross trek or a cross check, a Surly cross check off of Craigslist or the West. What's it called? West Pennsylvania Bicycle Swap on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Someone tagged me in that, and then I found this cross check, which I bought, and it was cool. And then I took it to Thick to try to get it like redone, like just tuned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it had some wear and tear, but they were like, oh, there was all kinds of shit wrong with it. Frame was cracked, everything.
Yeah.
And the dude that sold me it was super cool. He was like, oh, dude, I'll buy it back. I'll give you the money back for it. He was like, I'll fix it up. He was like, I don't want to give you anything broken.
That's cool that he didn't try to screw you with it.
Yeah, dude, I was pumped because the people at Thick were like, it'll be $800 to fix everything that needs done on here.
Yeah.
And like they showed me this stuff blatant. Like they were like, there's cracks here, and I was like, fuck. Like I never knew what to look for because I never like bought bikes.
Yep.
And I ended up going, and I was like, oh, I like that Surly. Like I like the brand of it. And then Kindred brought that thing out after I tried that Kona, but because it was a drop handlebar and I'm a big dude, it just didn't fit me that well. So they brought that thing out, which is more like swept back and like a cruiser bike, and I love it.
Yeah, that thing looks awesome. I'm actually in the process of building like a city cruiser bike, like similar to what you have.
Yeah, because what do you have right now?
It's a Niner, so it's like their gravel bike.
Yeah. Okay. So and like, have you have you always ridden that style of bike?
I've had a few different styles or different kinds of bikes that were gravel bikes. Yeah. So, but I have a mountain bike, a single speed road bike, a BMX bike still.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So you're always on a bike.
Yep. Well, try to be.
Yeah, try to be as much as you can. So, I mean, you're up here, you're working at Dirty Harry's, and like, when did you start to see a change in, foot traffic?
Pretty much immediately. Like the second that the quarantine, all the lockdown stuff happened, it was pretty much immediate.
Like end of March.
Like as soon as everyone knew that they were going to be able to go outside and exercise and still be able to do that stuff either for physical or mental health, it immediately picked up.
Yeah. Because people...
It was noticeable right away, especially in the service department.
Really? Yeah, people fixing their old bikes and shit. Yeah, because they told me at Kindred, they were like, yeah, it's like 2 weeks to be able to do anything because, like, everyone has everything there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And you said it was 400%?
Not an exact total, like, that's not the exact number, but roughly around there is what I was told.
Yeah, of 400, well, around there of like, an influx of business in the biking world.
And the entire, not at the shop I work at, just in general.
Yeah.
Like across the board.
That's insane to me because it's like, I guess it makes more sense though, because like if people can't go out to like bars and shit like that, they're probably going to be like, what can we do outside? Another thing that was like super, super hard to find was, kayaks.
Yeah, I just talked to the lady that owns Three Rivers Outdoor. I don't know if you know of that place. It's in Regent Square by D's Six Packs and Dogs.
I think I do know where that is.
It's like a local, just like outdoors company. Pretty awesome place.
Yeah.
She was saying that. She's like, we're out of kayaks, blah, blah, blah. We're selling out of everything just like you guys are at the bike shop. She actually just came and got her bike serviced through us like probably about a month ago, and she was saying that.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And it's like, I've rented bikes before at that Golden Triangle.
Yeah.
And, me and my wife will come down randomly, like last year before, and we would rent a bike, go rip around for a while, and then, I loved it, but I feel like that I didn't take to it as quick because, like, it wasn't, like, my bike.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like, fit to me. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I was like, screw it. And I bought that thing. And now I can't get off of it.
Yeah,
like
once you're sized correctly and fitted to the bike right, it's a completely different thing.
A whole different world. And like we were talking about before, it's like once you have your legs, it's like the first time I rode, I was just like dead. Like my ass hurt worse than it's ever felt in my entire life. And that was like the first like maybe 4 times I rode. But now I could go 40 miles and it won't hurt at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just, obviously it makes it way more enjoyable to do. And, that makes more sense, but it's crazy how many people are on like the trails and shit like that.
Yeah. Even on like the healthy ride bikes, like there's people right there riding around. So
yeah, that's true. All them, I don't think I've ever rented one of them.
Yeah. I personally haven't. I have a couple friends that have worked there and a friend that still does work there.
And like fixes them and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's
and they
cool.
get them like distributed out around the city and stuff.
I wonder how many are around this city. Got to be a lot because I see them everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the exact number with that.
Now, you say you're 38, so like, what were you like before like bikes? I mean, obviously, if your family had a bike shop, you were probably into bikes for a while.
Yeah.
Ever since you were little.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty much as far back as I can remember. We tried the sports thing. Like I tried basketball, I tried baseball. Like was kind of into baseball, but then just like kind of got burnt out on it.
The typical young kid sports.
Yeah,
it's like everyone tries basketball, baseball, soccer. So when you're younger and you're getting into this, like, what else did you do besides bikes?
Not much.
Yeah,
we immediately pretty much started racing BMX at like the local BMX track.
Oh wow.
And my parents got super into that. They started they got a trailer and started vending at the tracks.
Oh wow. That's pretty sick.
We did that on like a local, state, and then like national, like East Coast national level.
I had a friend that raced at South Park, the dirt tracks over there years ago, but that's the only time I ever I think I've only went to see like 2 races in my life.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy though.
That's actually how I ended up coming to Pittsburgh the first time, was to race at the national at South Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like a big deal?
The nationals that used to be at South Park were a huge deal. People would fly in from out of the country to go there and race.
In South Park?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, not too many people that aren't involved in the BMX world that don't know, when they hear that, they're like, wow, that's nuts.
It is pretty crazy because like it was just my buddy his mom would take us there on the weekends and he would have like a race, but I didn't know, like, I was probably also in like maybe like 5th grade, so I didn't know like the magnitude of what it was there. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge level. I don't know, since I'm not in the racing scene anymore, like I don't know how big it is now, but it used to be huge.
Yeah. Now, you said you raced?
Yeah, I used to race BMX bikes and then kind of like slowly transferred into just like building jumps in the woods and just riding trails and like going to local concrete parks and skate parks and stuff like that.
I see that I think on your Instagram I saw a video of you at the Wheel Mill.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that place.
My buddy Mike that I live with, he's the manager there. It's a really cool spot. It's an indoor bike park.
Is it just bikes?
I think they have a skateboard night. I'm not too sure about that, so you'd have to go look on their website, but I'm pretty sure they either tried a skateboard night or they have one.
Where's that at?
At the Wheel Mill. It's in Homewood.
Okay.
Yeah. And
now, like, if you're growing up in bikes, your family has a bike shop, obviously your parents are crazy into bikes and shit. So is it like, on the weekends you're just out riding bikes and being reckless?
It was every day after school, and on the weekends we'd go different places. They used to drive us 2 hours to go ride a different skate park on the weekend and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
whenever you were younger, did you get messed up? Trying to do tricks and stuff?
It's kind of just comes with the territory.
Yeah, it got to be. I always
know?
wondered, like, you see kids that are like getting into like skateboarding and getting into like BMXing, and like whenever they're younger, it's interesting the parents that like kind of take to it and like are super into it. Like you have the parents that are like, fuck yeah, football and baseball and all that, but it's like, bikes and skateboarding are a little bit different. You get a little bit hurt more, and it's pretty interesting to like see a parent like kind of embrace that, like, different.
Yeah, I mean, I think once your parents actually see you do something that you truly love, they just get behind you no matter what.
That's dope.
Especially if it's like a positive thing,
Yeah, you're not out getting.
You're seeing your kid grow up and starting to get like decent at riding or decent at skateboarding or football or whatever it is, and you immediately are probably just stoked, Yeah,
to see your kid like love something.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Was he into bikes as well?
He rode for a while. Yeah.
That's dope. Now, like through high school and stuff, are you still like racing, or are you just like for fun?
High school, I would say probably like the first half of it I was still racing, like 9th grade, 10th grade, somewhere in there, and then slowly just got out of it and was just doing like the more like non-competitive stuff, like just like riding bikes in the woods with my friends and just doing like random stuff. Probably skipping school more than I should.
Yeah, that's typical. That's all right though. Now, I'm curious, like whenever you race and you're that young, like, do you win money at these races, or is this basically just like accolades?
No, it's you don't win money in the amateur classes.
Okay.
You pretty much it's based off your skill level and then off of your age. So like you would race like 13 novice or 13 expert or 13 beginner. And you would just race kids like that.
They were kind of like the same level as you?
Yeah. And then there's like open classes and stuff, I think, when you get a little bit older.
Is that means anyone could race in that class?
Yeah, I think that's how it worked. It's been
I'm sure it's been forever.
And the rules have probably changed a lot, but yeah.
It's interesting to I just like never really knew too much about it. Like I was telling you before we started recording, I'd say the last time I owned a bike was probably whenever I was like 13 or 14, and it was like some like beat ass mongoose BMX bike that weighed a ton.
Yeah.
It had pegs the size of that Gatorade bottle. Never used them.
I remember those.
Dude, it was crazy. And like it was just like it was a showy bike, so it was so heavy. And like I lived in a neighborhood that had hills and shit, so I like hated it because I couldn't ride this thing up a hill. Yeah. I've always been like big as hell, so it was always just like not the most welcoming for me. Skateboard, you just kick it up and walk.
Yeah.
But it's like a bike. If you're pushing your bike up a hill, people are looking at you whenever you're walking by, like, get on that fucking bike. But so after high school and shit, I mean, you said you moved up here?
Yeah, I moved. It was only supposed to be for a summer, and it ended up being for multiple summers.
What made you come up here?
Just I had met a lot of people that live here, like through bicycles. So just ended up coming up here. Was going to stay for a summer. Ended up staying for a few years, probably like 4, maybe 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, and then headed back down to Florida.
Then I went down there, started helping them more with their shop. And then, ended up getting sick of being in Florida and just moved back here.
Do they still have a shop?
No, they sold their business 2 years ago. And they're pretty much just chilling. They sold their house and they live in an RV and they just drive around wherever they want.
Wow.
Type thing. It's pretty cool.
That is
They
awesome.
Traveled a ton last year, which was awesome. They actually came up and visited.
That is cool. Man, that's a life, to live in an RV and just be able to drive around and do whatever.
Yeah, they seem like they're pretty happy, so...
My mom just retired last year. My dad's been like, he's been retired for a few years now too. And, last year they went and they just got in the car and just like drove for a couple weeks, went to the Grand Canyon, wherever. It's cool to see like your parents like enjoy their life.
Yeah. It's cool to see it just settle down. Like there was, they busted their ass for years.
And you're just like, Man, it's cool to see them like enjoy things and be able to go see things. Like my mom worked all the time, and she was like high up in PNC.
Yeah.
So like she was just always working. My dad always worked. He coached sports, but like it's cool to be able to see them like enjoy their life after like, you know, their kids grow up and like are not complete failures and shit. You know, they did all right. Do they still ride bikes?
Yeah, they still have bikes. They ride them around. You know, it's still something that I don't ever see them not doing it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So
that's cool though. I mean, I don't know. I guess like I definitely feel like I love it in a different level now, because you know, before it was like I never really cared about it. Like I never like if I never rode a bike again, I would have never worried about it. But now it's like, you know, if I get off work, I just want to bring it down and just go ride around.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with how great Pittsburgh is with their trails and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot more bike friendly than what people would imagine. If you're not a cyclist or whatever, you wouldn't know how good we have it.
Yeah, like I had no idea of any of these trails. I'm still finding places and I've never been. Like I just went to that penitentiary like probably 2 weeks ago. Never knew that was there. Went out to Millville that way. Never knew that was there in my life. And you know, I'm still just like finding new places.
Yeah.
You know, I'm friends with kids that are like in the graffiti world. So it's like they're fucking pulling me into the shadows and like showing me like cool places to go. And like you're popping off into the woods. And it's like, I just never knew like how great this place was. And you can literally get to every place in the city on your bike. It's like, in the bike lanes, you know, Bill Peduto gets some heat for that. But I mean, I feel like I gave him heat too in the beginning before I started riding my bike, but I'm like, damn, it's nice.
Yeah, it makes it, I mean, it definitely makes it easy to get around town. Bike Pittsburgh and, you know, everyone does a really good job with that. So
yeah, like that open streets and everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like seeing that, it sucks because now I bought a bike and now they're not going to have it this year.
Yep.
But last year I seen it and it's just like, it looks so fun.
It's cool. Like, I don't know. Just shut that little part of the city down for a day and everyone can like run or ride their bikes or
what's
skate
it hurt?
or whatever.
What's it hurt? Nothing.
Probably helps.
Yeah, it gotta help. I mean, you see like how everything like shut down in this quarantine. There's like, you know, dolphins and like waters that they haven't been in for years.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you're in high school, do you have an idea of what you wanted to do after school?
I always just winged it.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a plan.
I feel like
I just
that's
wanted
all right.
to get out of high school so I could move and travel a little bit and just do cool stuff with bikes and my friends. So
yeah. So you knew that you wanted bikes to be in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely.
It's now for you to, you know, kind of like, I mean, like not have like a plan. Did you have like college or anything? You didn't go to college or anything?
No college. No
Smart.
after high school. Anything.
You're smart. You know, you're one of the ones that don't have fucking $50,000 in debt and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, I know that you're also. So you told me that you're a brewer for Allegheny.
Yeah, assistant brewer there.
Assistant brewer. So when did beer come into your life? 14, 15?
No, not that young. Honestly, it was probably late considering like what other kids start experimenting with that. That's probably has a lot to do with just being so active with riding.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a lot of free time to like party like some kids in high school would maybe.
I guess that's a good point to think about.
I would say it was probably, I know my really good friend Ronnie drove me up from Florida to South Park for a race, and then we went to Woodward, which is in like central Pennsylvania. It's like a bike camp.
Yeah.
I was turning 16 that year, and he's quite a bit older than me, so him and his friends would go out and party after we were done like riding around or whatever, and I wasn't drinking then. I think I was closer to 18 or 19 before I started drinking.
Yeah.
And it was like a on the weekend type thing, not like a huge deal. You know,
not
normal like 19-year-old experimenting around with figuring out what kind of beer he likes and what kind of, you know, if he likes mixed drinks or whatever.
Yeah, whether you like liquor or beer.
So.
Now, if I mean, like, I think that's interesting too. I don't know too much about like the brewing end of things because, like, I feel like a lot of podcasts around the city, they always have brewers on.
Yeah.
There's like the drinking partners and shit, and like, that's like their forte is like brewing. Mm-hmm. And I don't drink, so like I never really sought out anyone that brewed beer or anything, but kind of like intermingled with you.
Yeah, it's still like new, like that jumped a lot of years as far as like from high school till then.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been helping Allegheny City for a little over 3 years now. And before that, I never had made beer before.
So what were you doing the years before that?
Just working in the bike industry still.
Yeah.
And not working at the bike shop still.
Yeah.
So.
And like, how'd you come across Dirty Harry's?
Through a friend of mine. He actually recommended that I go talk to them about getting a job there. So, where
I was just YouTubing shit after I bought that bike because I don't know how to do anything on it.
Yeah.
And I have an inner tube in my book bag. I don't know how to put it in if it did break. I'm sure I could figure it out, but it got to be interesting to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's like working on cars. It's like you wrench a little bit there.
Yeah.
It's wild that place has been open that long.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's a very the atmosphere there is great. Like our customer base is awesome. The people that work there are cool. The owner's there every single day, either helping us in the back or selling bikes or ordering bikes. So
I mean, is he super old?
No. I mean, I think he's old.
I mean, like 40 years.
He's not old. He's like, I don't know an exact age.
Was he like the original owner of it?
His dad, I believe.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. That's cool, though. I mean, like, I feel like that it's super interesting that you do both of these things because, like, they're both interesting. I've never talked to either. I've never talked to a person that does either of them, and that's why whenever I looked at your profile, I saw that like you're pretty heavy into the brewing end of it all. You're pretty heavy into the biking end of it all, and I thought it was super interesting, like because now we're in this like, I've been doing these podcasts for like over 2 years, and like I keep thinking about like me talking to all these guests now, and like the whole like wrench that coronavirus like threw into everything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you got to talk about it. It's like it has to be a topic.
Yeah. At the shop, it's crazy because we're just nonstop busy. The brewery's a little different. Just, like right now we're not allowed to be open unless we're selling food. Just a random rule that they made up.
So you're not allowed to just open the doors to sell cans?
We're allowed to sell beer to go.
But not like have anyone like come in and sit down.
So there's like a bunch of the rules were different than they are now. They keep changing them weekly.
Yeah.
Like whenever Wednesday rolls around, the Allegheny County Health Department comes out and just like either adjust how the lockdown is or they just like readjust how the lockdown rules are. It's real. I don't want to like over talk on it because it's a touchy subject for a lot of people.
I also feel like that there's no definitive answers.
Yeah, there's no. That's why every week it just sounds like it feels like they're making rules up.
Yeah, it does.
So, and I know it's like out of the for everyone to be safe.
Yeah, but it's like you have people that are like ripping Tom Wolfe apart and everything, and it's like I get it. I get people ripping him apart, like the business owners and everything, but it's also like, no one knows what this shit is.
Yeah, and it's a super fine line because, like, I'm pretty salty about it, I guess, just coming from that side of it.
You mean, like, being closed?
Yeah, I mean, because we were allowed to be open, then we weren't allowed to be open, now we're only allowed to sell stuff to go. It's just, there's so many moving parts to it.
Yeah.
So I kind of just, like, want to sit back and chill and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Type of thing, and not like really voice too much of it publicly just because of no one knows what's going to happen. Obviously no one wants anyone to get sick.
Yeah.
So I mean it's a really weird, it's a touchy subject for everyone.
Do you know anyone that had the coronavirus?
I know of about 3 people, not locally, just
you know of them. Yeah. Now, was anyone like seriously injured?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's like I've been trying to like see through like Facebook, see through like whoever I'm friends with on social media. Like I've been asking people too. It's like, I'm curious to talk. Like, I would like to talk to someone who had it, and like kind of like just talk to them about it, because, you know, like, knock on wood, it's like I don't have it. No one I know's had it, but everyone that I see that has had it, like celebrity wise, like I listen to podcasts with, you know who like Fighter and the Kid is. Are you a podcast listener?
I don't listen to a ton.
They're comedians that are friends with like Joe Rogan, but the one dude just talked mad shit on it. He ended up having it, said he was sick for like 3 or 4 days, and then was just fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, you hear about all this shit and you're like, God, like, what are we turning this world upside down for?
Yeah, I don't think stuff should be as closed down as it is, but we're also not in an area where it's gotten completely out of control. It's
like Florida, New York and Florida.
Florida had like 10,000 people on Saturday or something. Like,
I think it was 13,000.
Yeah,
they said
something ridiculous.
They said that there was more people in, like, if Florida was its own country, it would be the top of the list for infected cases.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, like, you know, you're like, damn, like, I want to go out and do stuff. I want to be able to go to work. I want to be able to do this and that. But you're like, you know, like just because it didn't happen to us doesn't mean that, like, you know, other people aren't getting completely, like, slammed by this. Like New York.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to do their best. And for no one knowing what's really going to happen, I feel like it's not too bad.
Yeah.
For what they're doing. But there's going to be some crazy backlash with either places going out of business.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, like,
just
unemployment in general. Just
unemployment.
That's going to go nuts.
Now, for you to be someone that loves biking as much as you do, this has to be a positive for you and a negative, because you obviously get some more time to ride your bikes. But for someone that's been in the biking world so long, does it completely suck, like, having all of, like, this oversaturation of just newbies?
No, definitely not, because my job is to make people happy on their bikes, you know? Like, so having new people ride is awesome.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
You have to adjust, you know, our normal's not normal anymore. Like, we have to restructure how we work every day.
Yeah.
We're dealing with more people than we ever have, so we have to be safer that way as well. So
is the shop open? Like, could people come in and shop, or is it like
we're the second that the federal government marked the cycling industry essential, we've been open the whole time.
Really? You guys are marked essential?
Yeah, we've been essential since the very beginning of this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I wonder why. For health reasons, I guess.
Health reasons, and also a lot of bike shops service like law enforcement bikes.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
And we service them also. So, I mean, there's from a city, county, and state level.
Now,
shops have to be open for that as well.
You guys are servicing police bikes.
We're doing county bikes.
What kind of bikes do they even ride?
They ride like intermediate, like mid-level mountain bikes that have like road tires on them, pretty much.
Are they like decent?
They're like $800 bikes. I mean, yeah, they're pretty decent.
That's what's up.
The cops that we deal with are pretty awesome guys. They are the county cops they're Allegheny County cops, but they patrol South Park on bikes and horses. So
I feel like that would be a wild job.
Yeah, it'd
be a bike cop.
Yeah.
Do you remember that TV show NYPD Blue?
Yep.
I feel like that was like my first, you know, besides for like Matt Hoffman and Dave Mira, R.I.P. I think NYPD Blue was like the most I ever wanted to become, like someone that was good on a bike. Because
that's
like
awesome.
that show was so sick. You would see him just like rip down steps and then like slide into a fucking bad guy and just like trip him, throw cuffs on, and you're good. It's it's wild though. It's like, you know, I'm definitely a people watcher, and I ride my bike by myself a lot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see all the different people that are on bikes. It's interesting to see, you know, everyone, like, you know, the extras they have on their bikes, like the bags and everything like that. I don't know. It's not anything like super interesting, but it's like it's interesting to see how everyone conducts themselves on bikes.
I think that's what's cool about riding bikes is everyone can kind of just do their own thing.
Yeah.
We're all out just cruising around, but everyone kind of is just doing their own thing. It's not like everyone's doing. You don't have to do it a certain way. I mean, there's laws that you have to abide by, but there's not. You can have your own style with it, I guess, is what would be the best way to say it.
Do you wear a helmet?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to invest in a helmet.
Yeah.
I almost got clipped at the casino the other day.
I know too many people that have gotten hurt not wearing one, and I've not worn one before and gotten hurt, so
really
I don't look at people and say they're wrong for not wearing one, but I wear one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I got balled up on a bike, I would be like, yeah, I'm definitely getting a helmet.
Yeah.
But I see I was over at the casino, and I was coming across towards the river from the casino, and I almost got ran over by a Tesla. I didn't hear it, and I had my speaker up just bumping, and I definitely almost got clipped, and I was like, I need to get a helmet now.
Yeah, and the last couple crashes I've had, recently after I started wearing one, I broke 3 helmets.
Jeez.
4 years maybe. Like 5 years.
Are you mountain biking aggressively?
Mountain biking mostly.
Yeah.
The last time I did it, I wrecked in frick and hit the side of my head, where pretty much where a tree meets the ground, where the roots are just coming out, and it just hit the side right above my ear and cracked it that way.
Jesus.
Sorry if that was too far away, but
no.
Yeah. So I mean, even if I'm just cruising around on the river trail, I have it on. It's weird once you start wearing one, how weird it feels when you don't have it on. You're you feel like something's wrong.
I've only took one wreck on that so far. It was probably the second day I had it, and I was ripping out towards Kennywood. I was like, we're gonna do this Kennywood loop. It was I think the furthest I went before that. The first day I got that, I went 20 miles over around North Side, and I was like, damn, 20 miles, never thought I'd do that in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, and then we're going to go to Kennywood. So I had a group of my friends, and we were just ripping out past probably 2 miles right before the Kennywood, and I on the side of the trail, I was looking behind me, and the back tire went off the side of the trail, and it slid, and my pedal caught on the road, and I just flipped, and I ended up landing right on my front tire, bent this thing like a taco. And
on that bike?
Yeah, I bent that front rim, and it saved my life that I landed on the front rim. But I had to go buy a brand new one. I went to the dudes at Kindred because I was like, yeah, I wrecked, and they were like, Jesus. They were like, what were you doing? So I had to get a new rim, but they were like, at least you're riding, at least you're out there. But I tuned it up a little bit to what I wanted it to get done, and I think I'm pretty good with it now.
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty
a
much
sick bike.
I appreciate it. I'm happy with it. I bought my wife one, and that took 4 weeks to come in.
Yeah. Did you get her the same thing?
No. I wanted to get her the same thing, but I couldn't find her. I got her Kona Dew.
Okay.
So I bought her that thing. She wanted something with a little thicker of a tire than mine.
Yeah.
But she likes the swept back handlebar. She doesn't want a drop bars or anything like that.
My buddy Shreddy that works at BBT at the wing spot I was telling you about earlier today.
Yeah.
He just got a Kona from Kindred, and he loves it. He's so stoked on it.
Oh yeah, dude. They had so many nice ones. It's I was looking at that Sutra, and that Sutra is a drop bar, more of a road bike, but it came with it had a Brooks saddle, it had a rack on there already, fenders, and I was like, damn, this thing is nice, and I was riding it up and down, and I like it, but that drop bar, me being so big, my back starts to hurt.
It's a different position that you're in for sure.
100%. Yeah. That cross track that I bought, it was almost my hands were lower than where my ass was. Mm-hmm. And I felt I didn't feel as stable.
Yeah.
And she brought out that thing, Catherine from over there, and she was like, we have this beach cruiser type, and I was like, yep, that's me. I got on it and I rode it, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, that thing's perfect for rail trail and city use and stuff like that. Yeah,
I'm not doing anything insane. The most, I'm working my way up to going to Ohio Pal.
Yeah.
I really want to go up there.
That's a really fun ride.
I know, but
a couple buddies and I were actually talking about doing that before the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And just like having and camping and just having like a friend pick us up the next day.
Yeah, so it's like 68 miles up, I think I looked.
Yeah, if you're starting in the south side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was like 68 from where I looked there, and I rode, my parents live up in McKeesport, so the other day I rode from here all the way up to McKeesport and back, and like that was like 42 miles, and then the other day I did 50 miles, and like that was the most I've ever done was 50.
Yeah,
it was like 50
awesome.
and a half. Thank you, I appreciate it. And I was pumped about that, but I was like slowly trying to work my way up into like, you know, I don't want to like, I'd like to get to Ohio Pound one day. Which is definitely possible. Like I could definitely get there. The only thing I'm worried about is the hill, the gradual hill up there.
It's from. Are you talking about from Connellsville to Ohio Pile, that 17-mile stretch?
Yes.
It's railroad grade.
Oh, is it?
So the entire Gap Trail is it's all railroad grade because it's old railroad tracks.
Yeah.
So I think
It's somewhat level. I think I read that it was like a 2% grade.
yeah, the steepest it can get for a railroad is I think 6. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 6.
Yeah, I guess that would make
So, like,
sense.
And that grade that you're talking about from from Connellsville to Ohio Pile, I think it's like 17 miles or something like that, 18 miles.
Yeah.
And you're in the woods.
Oh, I know.
So like it's perfectly covered. It's not like we were riding like and it's real hot or anything like it's really shaded.
Yeah.
And it's the closer you get to the Ohio Pile, the nicer it gets.
Yeah, it gets a little bit colder.
So, I mean,
it's give and take. I'm sure it evens out.
if you've done 50 miles around here, you wouldn't that little section right there wouldn't bother you.
What's the most you've ever done?
In a day?
Yeah.
105, I think, is
Where
the
at?
longest I've done. Around here, I normally do like a century or two a year. But
100 miles
yeah.
a year. Jesus. How long did that take?
it's like 6.5 hours of moving time. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, 6.5 to 7 hours of moving time. But pretty much leave from here and go like through Riverview, like the backside of the north side through Riverview Park.
Yeah.
If you go over the McKees Rocks Bridge, or
Yes. I think I know what that, yeah.
if you go in, and then you go into Neville Island,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
the Three Rivers Heritage Trail starts there, or there's a section of it there, and you can take that. It's pretty much like the one in the south side, but it's on the side of the street in Neville Island.
I didn't know that.
And then you can take that to the beginning of the Montour Trail.
Oh, really?
In the beginning of the Montour, if you do the whole thing from Coriopolis, I believe is where it starts.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you can take it all the way to past South Park and all that. It's pretty far. I can show you a route, but there's a loop that I do like once or twice a year, and it's the Montour Trail to the Gap Trail, and it's right at pretty much 100 miles.
Jesus. I definitely can't get there yet, but I will. I would like to do that. That's obviously a goal. I would like to be able to get triple digits. I have a cousin who he biked from here to California, and I interviewed him on here, and like he's like, oh, the most I did was like 120 some miles in one day. And I was like, God, like I couldn't even fathom.
Yeah.
I couldn't even fathom that.
He did Pennsylvania to California.
Yeah.
Cool.
He did PA to California.
I did Florida to here.
Jeez, how long did that take?
It was 23 days on the road and 20 days of riding. So
That's not terrible.
When I moved up here the last time, that's how, like I drove my car up, fit everything I could possibly fit in my car, drove it up, got a one-way plane ticket back to Florida, then rode my bike back up.
How many flat tires did you get up there?
Not many, actually. It was under 5.
The only reason I asked that is he told me he got 4 in one day.
He probably got a bunch in the desert.
It was like, yeah, it was like I want to say like south of Colorado, maybe somewhere around there. But he said that I think he went like right before fall, if I could remember, because he said at one point there was snow, and then but he was trying to do under $10 a day. he would just like live off of like, bless you, he would just like live off of gas station hot dogs. He was going in the dumpster getting like expired candy bars that were like 3 days out.
Yeah,
and
he did it a little rougher than I did. I was like living it.
Dude, he didn't even. He said he did not use a flashlight the entire time. We grew up in Boy Scouts. Like his dad was our Boy Scout leader, so this dude could live in the woods. He got a beard that's 3 foot long. He was living off of trail mix, and that he had no stove, no nothing. He just had water, couple pairs of pants, and a bunch of like bike inner tubes. And he said that he would bike. He would set up. He just slept outside every night.
Yeah.
And he said he loved it. He said everything about it he loved, but he said it was a beast.
Yeah, mine was super cool. It was very well planned out. My dad and my mom helped me a lot with it.
Yeah.
I pretty much just rode campsite to campsite every day.
Okay.
And then
There's a lot of hills.
From Florida to here, it's pretty much uphill the whole way.
That's what I'm saying. It gotta be, right?
Yeah.
So you were just like, what were you eating while you were doing this?
Whatever I could get. In the South, a lot of the gas stations have like Subways inside of them.
Oh, okay.
So I would just get like Subway subs.
And you would eat one of them. You would have to be hungry immediately.
Yeah, I would eat like 4 of them a day. Like 4 foot long subs a day, if not more.
Yeah, because he said that he was like, at one point I was pedaling up a hill, shoving a whole Snickers bar in my mouth.
Yeah.
And he was like, I swear, I would just swallow it and I would be starving again. And I mean, like, he was doing a little bit more hardcore, like trying to just live off of nuts.
Yeah.
I can't remember the total amount that he said that he spent out there, but I think it took him like 60 days. And yeah, I think like 60 days, but his bike was nothing crazy. He bought like some used, like, funny bike.
That's cool.
It was so sick. And he definitely like got me, it was a bug in my ass after to like want to start riding. He saw that I got a bike and I'm like, dude, we got to go to Ohio Pile. But I just wanted to be able to like build my legs before I could do that, because it would be fucking miserable if I was going up there.
Yeah. If you've already done a 50-mile day, I mean...
Oh, I know I could get it. Mindset now, I have an insane willpower to be able to just pump. Because, like, just from the beginning of whenever I started to, like, me going across 10th Street Bridge and, like, my legs literally feeling like they were, like, bleeding, like, on the insides. Like, now I could just rip. And I can't even imagine, like, with someone like you who's, like, you could just pedal up an insane hill, I'm sure, without stopping. I had to stop going up my parents. We live on this like cliff basically right by the Boston Trail. Mm-hmm. You ever been up there?
Yeah, the Little Boston Trail.
Little Boston.
Yeah.
So I live like 2 minutes away from there, and
you ride right past that when you go to Ohio Pile.
Right past that. Yeah. That's why I figured it would be dope to be able to like take that whole route if I needed to like go there, whatever. But I had to push my bike the rest of the way up this hill. I was dead.
Yeah, your climbing takes a little bit of time, but I mean once you know, like, what gear to be in and like when to stand up and when to chill and sit down, like,
I think that's the biggest game changer.
It's not too big of a deal then.
The biggest game changer for me is learning when to stand up and not just sitting on my seat the entire time. Because that's what I was doing in the beginning, and like my ass would just be destroyed. But now I kind of like, I'm getting like, I just look at other people, how they ride. Like if someone's riding on the trail near me and like, on the jail trail, there's a very specific end right before the jail where there's like a bunch of bumps.
Yeah.
And now they're highlighted with red.
Yep.
But before, I was just riding over them and it would destroy me. And like I saw some random dude ripping through there and he was standing up. I was like, man, it's such a game changer. So when did you ride up here from Florida?
That was April of 2013.
And you said it took 23 days.
Yep. There was a day where a tropical storm came.
I was just going to ask you, did you deal with any storms?
I was stuck in a hotel for 2 days.
Oh, that's not terrible then.
The campground I was going to stay at, they didn't let anyone camp because it was
pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I just stayed inside.
Huh.
So
what was it like whenever you got here? Were you pumped?
Yeah.
Or were you just kind of like...
It was exciting.
Had to be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I got here the end of April,
Where do you
Just
where does
chilled.
that even come in at? Like, where would you?
I got on the Gap Trail in DC.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and
yeah,
came
yeah.
across. So the last 5 days of the trip or whatever was on the rail trail. So
Yeah.
you didn't even have to worry about getting lost. You didn't have to worry about cars. You didn't have to worry about anything.
Was it sketchy the first the first time getting up with being on the road?
There was 1 or 2 days where it was just it was a busy road I was on the whole time or something like that. It wasn't,
Yeah.
once you're used to riding on roads and stuff, you're
Probably a whole different.
You get kind of aware of what's going on. So.
Oh yeah, gotta be.
But yeah, I mean, there was a couple sketchy roads that had to go on to get certain places, but nothing too crazy.
So I mean, where does the want to start brewing beer come into the play with all this?
I lived in the north side with a couple friends for a year,
Yeah,
and the brewery opened up that same year.
Allegheny.
Yeah, and I started just going there and drinking there and got really stoked on the place, and then met the owners, and they're really badass. And just eventually one night I just asked one of the guys that worked, Matt, one of the owners, and he was like, sure, you can come in, check it out,
That's awesome.
and just went from there with it.
Are you? Do you know of other brewers around the city?
Now I do.
You know who Chad Medved is? There's that's my name, obviously, but there's another Chad Medved that brews at Grist House.
Yes, yeah, I know him.
So
I've
this-
met him before. Yeah,
very-
I don't know him well, but I've met him before.
Random though, but the only time I've ever talked to people about brewing was I talked to him a little bit, not on here, but we were supposed to do an interview. I wanted to interview another Chad Medved,
Yeah.
because I've never met another Chad Medved, and I wanted to interview about his life growing up, because his life was. It's weird. It was like a shift in a dimension. I skateboarded. He rode BMX. He lived 20 minutes away from me, and we just randomly been told about each other. But he, I guess I would understand more of it if I drank
Yeah.
it all. I'm sure I would appreciate it more. I kind of compare it to coffee. I roast my own coffee.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably the most comparable to all this. So it's you go in there and you're immediately interested in learning how to brew.
I wanted something outside of the cycling industry, just just to learn something different.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in it, so it just ended up working out. That they brewed on my day off at the bike shop, and
That's awesome.
just kind of went from there with it.
Now, is there a simplistic way to talk me through a brewing? I kind of don't understand. What do you start with? I feel like that's a loaded question.
Yeah. You would probably need to just come and hang out with us for the day, honestly.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on.
Yeah.
So we all have our things that we do throughout the day to make it roll smoothly.
So I guess that's a better way to rephrase it. So you yourself, do you brew from beginning to end, or is there other people that do certain parts of the brewing process?
I've helped them beginning to end on Monday on brew day.
Oh wow.
I mean, there's after that day is said and done, there's still stuff that we have to do.
Yeah.
That they obviously do, because I'm at the bike shop then.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's multiple steps to it.
Now, Allegheny, how many different beers do you have there?
I think everything that we sell, we make, with the exception of the cider.
Yeah.
And we either get that from Arsenal or Threadbare.
Okay.
And when everything's open and normal,
Yeah, normal, obviously.
I believe they try to keep 12 different beers on.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's 12. It might be 10.
Are these all IPAs?
No, it's a little bit. There's all different ones. We have we have rotational ones. We have seasonal stuff that's seasonal.
Yeah. Forgive my crude.
Yeah, but there's normally an IPA or two on, and then a stout or a brown ale, something like that.
Now, what's you being I'm sure you're somewhat of an aficionado of beer now. What do you like?
I really like brown ales.
Brown ales.
But I go for IPAs or stouts, whatever. Kind of
Yeah.
all over the board with it.
It's understandable. That's it's pretty wild that it's pretty wild, like all the different, like now I have friends that are you familiar with Work Hard Pittsburgh? Buzzy Turk, they're up in Mount Washington or Mount Oliver, but from the beginning, before like he's the first. Let me rephrase it. He's the first person I ever met that was like crazy into like different beers, wild shit. And I remember trying all these different things, and like he's dating my sister-in-law now, so like I see all these weird beers that he brings over, and I'll take a sip of them and I'll try them. And he had like milkshake beers and all these weird ass things, and like I feel like I would enjoy them. I would definitely enjoy the taste of them. I feel like I just don't enjoy being drunk.
Yeah.
And like half of these fucking beers are like 10% alcohol. So I drink one of them and I'm just like blitzed.
Yeah.
Just completely wrecked. And I'm just like, wow, it's insane. But it's wild like how big brewing and like, beer in general has become. Do you think that that's just Pittsburgh, or do you think that that's all over?
I mean, we have an awesome scene here for that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be everywhere.
Now let me rephrase that. Do you think that Pittsburgh is like? Do you think that this is normal other places with as many, like is popular beer is, or do you think that we're like kind of?
I think we're extremely lucky.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's awesome breweries here.
Yeah. I mean, like how many are there? Like there got to be a crazy amount.
I know in the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild, I think there's 30.
What is that?
30 of them, maybe. The Brewers Guild is just breweries in Allegheny County that physically brew beer here. They have a guild that they formed.
Wow.
And it's pretty much to like, they help promote each other.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah.
That's definitely cool. So there's is there not like a rivalries between breweries? I'm sure that there's some.
There could be. I don't know of any.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people like each other, some people don't.
Yeah. Now are you like a beer snob?
No.
Would you consider yourself that?
I'll drink the cheapest beer.
That's what I was gonna say.
Possible, right?
Will you drink a Pabst, or will you be like, no?
I had an Iron City today with my wings. I'm not a beer snob.
That's all right though. That's good. Now, so like as far as like life now, like what is your plan for life? Like, I mean, I that's a loaded question too. You're obviously working at the bike shop. You're obviously brewing beer. It's like, do you have any other ambitions, or do you kind of want to like focus on beer and bikes?
Just focus on that stuff. Learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
And just chill. I moved here because I like it here, so I don't I just like chilling in the city and hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite places to ride?
It's all based off of like how I feel that day, but just any of the city parks are cool, like mountain biking around in Frick, or
I've never rode in any of them parks.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Like mountain biking, like you're like talking about like downhill, like
just like single track stuff in the woods.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to necessarily be like all downhill or anything like that. But
but jumps and shit like that.
Yeah, there's some jumps in there. Yeah,
you're ripping jumps.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, just like if mountain biking in Frick, or going out to North Park, maybe going to South Park. There's a bunch of places around here to ride.
I just for the first time started just popping off of a curb. Like I'm learning with it, but like now I'm getting to the point where I could ride my bike with one hand.
Yeah.
I could switch the music, and like I see people like riding with no hands, and I'm just like, how the fuck do you do that? It's like I try, but I've almost wrecked twice trying to ride with no hands. But I mean, do you have any like I felt super like unprepared whenever I was trying to go like pick out a bike.
Yeah.
Like how would you recommend, like if you were fitting someone, I guess that's a hard question to answer because everyone wants different things. I just felt like so like out of the loop whenever I was trying to find a bike.
Yeah, the main thing would be like style of riding first.
Yeah.
And then you can go into like the fit process.
Style of riding. You mean like if you're going to ride on like the road, if you're going to ride on like jail trails and stuff like that?
Or if you want like a mountain bike, or you just need to know what kind of riding you want to get into.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go into the fit process after that.
You build from there.
Yep.
Now, anything else that I was thinking of offhand with that? I mean, the biking stuff is just interesting. I feel like your guys' whole world is just like on fast forward right now. Because I just went to pick up her bike on Friday and at Kindred, and like there was still an insane amount of people. Their phone was just ringing off the hook the entire time.
Yeah.
And the people there now, they're like, we literally cannot keep any bikes in. No one could keep bikes in. And I've been like looking on Craigslist and shit like that for like months ahead of time, looking for my wife's bike. Still, it's like, it's insane. People want like $300 for like a busted ass bike that's been like rusted to death.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. All right. So I do an ending segment of the podcast.
Cool.
It's called Desert Island Questions. This is my favorite part of all the podcasts.
Can I get my water real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead. We're recording in Point Park, right? At the Point right now. This is the first time I ever recorded outside, and I love it. I think that this might be a good alternative to try to get some other guests in here. Maybe I'll try to find like a central location outside.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of safe, right?
Yeah, it's nice and chill.
Yeah, it's chill. It's like we're 6 foot apart.
Yep.
What's your feelings on like the masks and everything?
I wear one out of respect to people around me.
Exactly.
And respect to the businesses that I go into. So
like that's I feel like that's a good mentality to have. Like I'm not worried about my health. I'm sure you're not worried about your health, really. I mean, like young people are all right, but it's like, I don't know, dude. It's such like a crazy topic. You have people online that are like getting over like. People are getting killed. I've seen people get killed for confronting someone for not wearing a mask. It's it's a wild world.
Yeah, I do it out of respect. I mean, it's the rule technically. And
do you wear one while you're riding your bike?
If I stop to talk to someone, I just put my bandana over my face.
Yeah.
But
makes sense.
Some people, you see them wear them nonstop, and then there's people like me or you that just throw it on if we're going in a business or we feel like we're too close to someone.
Yeah.
And then there's people that like 100% refuse to wear them,
and it's wild to see all the different people. I saw someone sprinting with a mask on the other day, and I'm just like, bro, like, I don't know how you're even breathing in that. And it's like, it definitely makes it different if you're like doing a physical activity and you're wearing a mask. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Just be respectful. That's all. Yeah. Okay. So Desert Island Questions. And first of all, I have to apologize for not bringing you a what's in the cup. I asked you what you wanted, and you said any local beer. And I promise I'll get you a local beer in future times.
It's all good.
I feel like that we would. I mean, could you drink a beer right now outside?
We're in a state park, so I don't think that's.
I didn't think so.
That'd be frowned upon, but
probably be frowned upon.
I'm sure there's people over there partying it up.
Yeah, so. I smelled weed as soon as I rode by. I definitely did. Okay, so Desert Island Questions is the last segment that I do with all my guests. Desert Island Questions is where I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island to exhaust until expulsion. So for Desert Island Questions, the first category is things to watch. So you get to pick 3 things to watch. They could be TV shows, movies, whatever you want.
3 things.
Yep. Feel free to take your time if you need to.
Do sports count?
Yeah, you could do sports.
Okay, I would do Steelers.
You a big football guy?
Yeah.
Really?
It's something that it's a nice thing to get me to do something else besides riding a bike or talking to someone about the bike shop.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
So it's just like, it's my thing that I do on Sundays in the fall and winter time.
Yeah. I played football my entire life, and I haven't watched a game in years.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great Sunday afternoon.
Love football.
For me.
It's wild to me. I talk to people about it all the time, and obviously people are like, fucking love the Steelers. I don't know why. I just can't get into watching sports. Playing it was cool, but I just can't get into it. Steelers, though, I'll give you all of them.
What's that?
I said I'll give you all of them. Every Steelers game of the season you could watch.
Okay, cool.
You get 2 more.
2 more?
2 more. You get 3 choices for each category. So the first category was movies, and then so you get to pick 3 for movies, and then we'll give you 2 more categories.
Law and Order SVU.
Really?
Yeah.
You love Law and Order?
Oh, yeah. I've been watching it for so long. I love it.
Wow. I don't know if I've probably watched 1 episode before.
Yeah.
I think I've watched the episode with Jason Alexander where he looks like Ben Franklin. I think he played like a serial killer in that movie or in the TV show. But how long has that been on? Got to be 30 years now.
At least.
It got to be 30 years.
So that's always a good one. I normally
Yeah.
watch it before I go to bed.
I know a lot of
Just
people
like
that
if
love
I
that.
can't sleep or something, I just turn it on.
Dun 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 dun.
Then you wake up to that. These are hard because I don't watch a lot of TV.
I know, that's why I ask him.
Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Did you watch Uncut Gems?
No.
Man, gotta watch it.
But I'll definitely have to check it out.
You know what it is? You
Nope.
never heard of it?
Uh-uh.
Uncut Gems is where Adam Sandler is in New York and he plays this degenerate gambler. It's a serious movie.
Wait, hold on. I think I know this one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard people talk about it.
It is anxiety from literally the first minute until the last second of the movie. So I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Though. There's comedy relief, but there's nothing I love more than watching serious or watching comedians play serious roles.
Okay.
Like Vince Vaughn is Norman Bates in Psycho. It's like, I don't know. I love it. But Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems was absolutely insane. Do you have a favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Happy Gilmore?
Oh, that's a good one. Mine used to be Billy Madison, but I
Yeah.
think it would be a tie between Happy Gilmore and The Wedding Singer now.
Okay.
I would have to say. Those are good choices, though. You're very well-rounded. You got the Steelers, you got Law and Order, and you got Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's... What else? What more can you want?
I don't think I would change my answers.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, the reason I ask people these is because usually if you say 3 things, like if I say, 3 books or something like that, things start shooting into people's minds. Do you read it all?
No.
Okay. Now, if I had to pick, so I usually will ask people 3 books, but if I had to say 3 of your favorite places to ride in the city for anyone to go, what would they be?
Riverview Park?
Yeah.
It's the quietest.
I got to make my way up there.
I normally go there on like a weekend when Frick or Shinley is going to be way too busy.
They get real packed in the weekends?
Yeah. Especially now.
I bet, yeah. That's a good
Like,
point.
the weather's nice and everyone's on this quarantine thing, so
Yeah.
have to say Frick just because of how good it is, whether you're riding mountain bikes or like a gravel bike or something, a bike like what you have.
I don't even think I've ever walked in Frick Park.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I need to go.
And I'm going to go with, people are probably going to bash on me a little bit about this one, but the river trails are just so nice.
You mean like Southside and everything?
Yeah, just
Dude,
the Gap
that's
Trail,
my favorite.
Just the way that it's laid out is really good. Like,
It's one big. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a big ass loop. You could make it even bigger. You can make it a smaller loop. It's like you can't beat that.
yeah,
Whenever I did that 50 miles, I basically just did all around here. I was just zigzagging all through the city a bunch. I probably went to Lawrenceville 6 times, all through the day, and it was just like, it's a fun time. It doesn't get old.
yeah.
Do you find any, now sidebar, do you find any, I'm not a big fan of riding on like trails, like Boston Trail and stuff like that. I feel like it gets boring.
I guess that's what I meant by when I said people might bash me on this one. Say the rail trails.
I feel like that's different though.
They're extremely important for the community and everything,
Yeah.
just to get people active. That's why I'm saying that I would pick that as the third one.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
I went up to Ohio Pow, and it's like I took my wife up there, and we rode it was the first time we still rented her bike. First time I took that up there, and she was like, I want to get 30 miles today. I was like, all right, we'll ride 15 out, we'll ride 15 back. We rode 15 out, and then she was like, damn, I'm kind of tired. Well, let's go back. So she was on a rental bike. We rode 9 miles back, so there was still 6 miles left. Her back tire popped, and it was a rental, so I was carrying this bike back to the rental spot while she was pushing my bike. Luckily, I called the people, and they rode their bike down, and they just changed the inner tube real quick.
Yeah.
But it's like, them trails are cool, but like they kind of get boring. Like you can't really see anything. With the river trails, you're always seeing there's enough people to make it interesting to bob and weave around. But if you're going 4 miles on Ohio Pow, you could do it with your eyes closed. But that makes sense. So you said Riverview Park, Frick Park, and the river trails.
Yeah,
those are good answers. I like all that. Okay, so the third category is things to listen to. So if you could pick 3 CDs.
Can they be Pandora stations?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Deer Tick Radio has been stuck on.
Deer Tick Radio. What kind of music is that?
I'll have to play some for you.
Is it like bluegrassy type?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess you would say that. I'm not really good with describing it.
That's fine.
That kind of stuff. But Deer Tick Radio is a good one. It's pretty chill for the most part.
Okay.
So that would be one. Real old country music.
Oh yeah, like Waylon Jennings and stuff.
Just really old. I don't know.
Patsy
I don't listen
Cline?
to it I don't listen. That's not like a daily listen, but
yeah, it's nice to have on.
I don't know. I'm so easygoing with music.
I'm pretty easygoing with it too. You have like a favorite band?
Not really.
Really?
I'm so I'm around it so much that
yeah,
it's just always on at the bike shop or it's always on at the brewery, and I'm just listening to everything.
That makes sense. I won't force you to answer another one.
Biggie Smalls,
man,
Pandora.
That's the fucking best. That's the best answer you came up with.
We've been listening to that a decent amount lately, and it's just like that whole era of.
That's my dude.
Of music. So, yeah,
that's my dude. I've been listening to the Fugees a lot, and Lauryn Hill, and you're just like, damn, like the whole Score album. That she put out long ago, it's fantastic. I was listening to it this weekend while we were riding, and man, like Killing Me Softly and shit came on, and I'm just like, these were so good. All right, so
yeah, I'm pretty easygoing with music. It would have to be real bad for me to be like, no, I'm not listening to this.
Yeah. Is there anything you will not listen to?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't had to tell someone to change the radio station in a long time.
There you go. That's good. That's good. That's a good way. All right, so the second to last question is a death row meal. So if you could have, you ever read them articles about people that are about to get put to death?
Yeah, we were just talking about these meals the other day. Al at the brewery always gives me shit because he used to think that I ate too many chicken wings.
I love chicken wings.
And I've been eating a ton of tacos lately.
I love them too.
He's like, you traded you're a trader. You're not a chicken wing lover anymore. Blah blah blah. And he was like, you probably would rather have tacos for your last meal. I think he's right.
You could have both.
Yeah.
You could have anything you want.
Chicken wing tacos.
Chicken wing tacos?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Have you been to Streets on Carson?
I have not been to their location, but they've been to the brewery, and I've had their chicken wings.
Oh.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Unreal. I forgot they have the truck.
Yeah, they got.
Streets on the Fly.
Yeah, I've only had their food truck. I haven't had their.
Did you ever have their cheesesteaks?
No, I've only had chicken wings from there.
You got to try their cheesesteak.
Yeah.
It is just insane. The dude Matt who owns Streets is a very, very good friend, and
awesome.
He, he's the man. But those are my favorite chicken wings. I'm a chicken wing guy.
Yeah.
And I think that his 24-karat chicken wings are probably, those would be in my death row 100%. What about tacos? What are your favorite tacos around here?
Ones I make at home.
Yeah.
But I'm going to mispronounce the name of this place, and I feel horrible. Lapa on Southside?
Lapa. Oh.
At the end.
At the end
of Birmingham Bridge.
Yeah.
You like run right into it.
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
place is good.
I've never been to that yet.
Yeah,
it's
that
pretty
one's
good.
Really good. Yeah.
I just tried this place in Bridgeville called Lucha Street Tacos. They were banging. You need to try that.
Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah, tacos. I mean, tacos like pizza.
Yeah.
You know, I'll eat pretty much any of them. You know, I'll make them better at home, but I'll eat pretty much any of them. Okay, so I usually have people. So I have a second to last segment called the Turner's Crate. I'm sponsored by Turner's Tea.
Okay.
And I didn't bring the crate with me, obviously, because we're on bikes. But I did have a question. What's the most hurt you've ever been because of a bike?
Most hurt?
Yes.
I've had 2 knee surgeries on my right knee.
2 of them.
I've had reconstructive on it, and then I had like a cleanup surgery after like a year after.
Is this just because of like years of wear and tear?
It was from wrecking on my BMX bike.
Ugh.
And then
What were you doing?
I was riding just the trails, our BMX trails, and I just messed up doing a 360, I think it was.
And just like fell on top of it.
And I like put my foot down and it just like twisted sideways.
Ugh.
So
Jesus.
Other than that, just like not too crazy stuff, like minor concussions and stuff like that.
That's good at least.
Or when I was still living in Florida, I think I was still in high school. Yeah, I was in high school, so I chipped the top of my hip right here.
Jesus.
I don't know. That doesn't do anything for people listening because
That's
I'm
all right.
pointing at my hip.
That's all right.
But yeah, it was just like the very top of my hip. I chipped that part of that bone off.
Did it suck?
The part that's like right by your belt.
It sucked?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it sucked.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, that's the worst. That don't sound good at all. Okay, so that's a good.
Other than that, it's just small stuff like,
I'm sure.
finger, or sprained ankles, little things like that.
I'm sure I'll be acquiring some injuries here as long as I keep riding that. Okay, and the the last question that I ask everyone is: if you could have a conversation with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Brett Kiesel.
Brett Kiesel.
Yes.
Man, the beard.
Dude, I don't even know if I'd talk to him about football.
Yeah. I would like to talk to him about outdoorsy shit.
Yeah.
He's a crazy hunter.
Dude, his Instagram is awesome.
Yeah.
Like just
He's
him on his
man.
farm or him hunting or him fishing. Like
he's the man.
it just seems like you would have such a good afternoon with him. Like
yeah,
if
he
you
seems like a great guy.
If you were just hanging out like on a Sunday on his ranch or whatever, you'd have like a great, I feel like you'd just have a great time.
Yeah. It's like almost like the outdoorsy version of like Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory.
Yeah.
It just seems like he has everything you could ever want.
Yep.
And I feel like if I was him, I would never have to leave my house. I would just have everything I would want, and that would be it.
Yeah.
It's like, what more could you want in life?
So yeah, that would be my without a no.
Yeah, you said that quick.
No questions asked.
You said that
He's
quick.
the dude.
That's a good answer. I don't think he's ever been picked on here before. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you
this
for
was
the
awesome.
opportunity.
Take a second and promote anything you want to promote. This is probably where you would plug, Dirty Harry's and like Allegheny.
Dirty Harry's.
Yeah.
They've always helped me out, so it's awesome. Allegheny City Brewing. Ron Bonner did a ton of stuff for me when I was riding BMX bikes. He owns Shadow Conspiracy in Sabrosa.
What's that?
Shadow Conspiracy is a parts company, like a BMX parts company, and then Sabrosa is like a frame company, and they make complete bikes. The Will Mill does an awesome job for around here. Trail Pittsburgh and Bike Pittsburgh.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone else that's listening, let me know if you like the Outside podcast. I feel like it ain't too much different. You can just hear helicopters and birds chirping, but I feel like it's kind of peaceful. It's kind of nice out here. How uncomfortable was it sitting on this floor, on this ground?
I had to move around a little bit, but it's not bad at all.
Maybe I'll think about something else a little bit next time. Trying to be more comfortable for people, but this is a work in progress. This was a good first run.
I think it's cool. I I felt more relaxed than I would if we were like sitting inside like a room or something, you know?
Because like I usually do it at my house, and like everyone, and the reason I do it at my house is because like, you know, it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, people just chill on a couch and like it's kind of more relaxed. But I like this. I like being able to like, you know, kind of, you know, be out in the open and like look around and shit. But everyone else that's listening, I appreciate it as usual. Turner's Tea has some brand new merchandise that is out. Go to their website, turnerdairy.net, and grab some of that shit. Couple hats. They got some shirts out, awesome stickers. Hit up Dirty Harry's Bikes over in Verona, Allegheny City Brewing over in Deutschtown? Northside. Yeah. Northside. But you know where it is. Google it. I appreciate everyone listening. Call you right back.